friend Kandra, and happy friendiversary! It's our Soapy Friendiversary. I'm so excited. I can't believe it has been a full year since I launched the website. And that's what I'm calling the anniversary date of Soapy Friends, because even though this all started based on my book, The Natural Soap Color Palette, which I did publish this in 2020, Soapy Friends and what has evolved into becoming Soapy Friends based off this book was inspired by a couple of Soapy Friends at the conference in 2022, so last year's conference, and by my sister, who had been telling me that I need to be teaching soap making for years. So I finally listened to my sister from the support of my Soapy Friends, and here we are. It's been a whole year, and I have so much more fun in store for us over this upcoming year. And I mean, thank you all. I just feel so blessed to be surrounded by such a supportive community. I mean, soap makers are awesome. You are all amazing. These are the soaps that we made 2 weeks ago with the Rainforest Chica clays, our newest Soapy friend of Soapy Supplier Soapy Friend. And I really wanted to show you the colors of them because they've kind of bloomed. Specifically, I didn't feel like the green really represented green. It had much more of a blue kind of teal undertone to it, and it still kind of does, but it's greener. I think the yellow it's not as maybe saturated, it's mellowed a little bit, but I really, really love how it's mellowed. I feel like the reds have kind of popped, and mostly these purples, they seem purplier than they did even last week when we did the lather tests with them. So I was super, super impressed with the color, how the colors bloomed in these soaps. It's only been 2 weeks. They have a little bit longer to cure up, but typically, at least with the botanical colorants, the color we see after about 2 weeks is pretty much where it's settled into. So I think this is going to be it. I will definitely update you if they don't, and I will take another photo of these kind of in the light box so we can compare that under some color corrective light so you can see exactly how these colors have bloomed. But they are just gorgeous, and I cannot get over those purples right now. Today we're going to be using the yellow, and so our yellow clay, and we are also going to be using an indigo decoction. I'm gonna put these away before I open this indigo decoction because, oh my gosh, it's indigo. I'll make a mess if I don't. But we're gonna do a super fun soap, kind of as a tribute to all of the new fun Soapy Friends. See, isn't that dark? How dark that is. It's super dark blue. But this is a decoction that I made. I had it in the freezer. So I pulled that out last night to defrost, but we're going to do kind of an homage to all things Soapy Friends. We're going to do a super fun pour. It is called the One Pot Wonder. And Amy Warden with the Soap Challenge Club helped me remember what the heck it was called. She's such a great inspiration for all things super crazy cool design-wise with soap. And then we're going to be using colorants from Soapy Friends and George, the indigo, and from Rainforest Chica with her wonderful clay. And in order to do this pour and split it, we're splitting our soap with the water-soluble worksheet from the multicolor batch splitting tutorial, which was the very first tutorial I put up on Soapy Friends. And to scent it, I did a little modified version of my Smells Like Fresh Peaches blend, and it smells really gosh darn good. It has lemongrass, a little dash of spearmint to kind of give it like a sharp little top note, kick to it, but it's mostly orange fivefold essential oils. So I am just doing, this is a little baby batch. So in my mold, This is just a plastic board mold. Let me take it apart and put it together because I know a lot of you are going to be wondering about it. I love these plastic board molds for techniques like this because I need to be able to tip my mold. So it's just a flat piece of plastic board. Those are all my measurements. This is just a little mini sampler I put up, or made for myself. And I just put these binder clips to hold it. Over in the group, there's a great tutorial that's in the group guides with the original soaper that had like this full idea, and she has a great tutorial on how to make these. And she talks about these. These are wire coat hangers that I bent to fit, and what they're going to do, these have a tendency to bow out in the middle. Well, if you put these little guys in them, then ta-da, it doesn't bow out anymore. And if you leave your wings on, you can tip it. Look at this. It just tips and stays to the side. So in order to do this pour, we're going to layer our soap into the pitcher and then do one pour back and forth. And we need to pour down the side. So I'll be pouring down the side. And then when I need to start tipping it up, I'm just going to lift my wings up onto these little risers here. These are just sidewalls for my slab mold. I'll pour, and then I can do one more pour like this if needed. I might not do that second one. We might just be going flat. This looks like a tall and skinny and extra tall mold due to the small size of it. That's just an optical illusion. It's 3¼ inches tall. So it's really not that big of a mold. It's only, let me see what my full batch size here. It's like 700 grams of oil. So it's like maybe 1.5 pounds. Really not all that much. Okay. I'm just making sure I'm not too wobbly here on my, with these little feet. A little bit of wobble. Okay, I'm just gonna go with it. All right, so I'm gonna set that aside now that I explained what we're going to be doing there. And thank you, Angelique. You see in here, all good, awesome. All right, let me glove up. We're also using my go-to vegan palm-free recipe. That is available up on the website. That recipe includes a couple of modifications of my best sellers as well. So that is a fun recipe to get. And this glove looks funky. There's a spot on it. So I'm gonna get a different one. But I've already got my oils warmed up here. And what we're going to do is just bring this to an emulsion and then split it off. I put my bracelet away. And then we'll split it and color it, and let's see how this goes. All right, so first up, let's add our essential oils because I don't want to forget them. I was really thinking maybe I shouldn't do any essential oils, but this is such a special soap. It's our 1-year friendiversary soap, and I wanted it to smell yummy. But I was thinking I shouldn't because technically this is also kind of a stress test. You are a little bit wobbly here. I'm gonna just fix this a little bit. But this is a stress test for the clays to see how they perform in a larger batch, see if we get any acceleration. So if we do and our soap is a big fail, it'll smell good at least. But I'm sure everything's going to be fine. Using clays is definitely, while new to me, but it's not new to Soapy Friends. Lots of soapers use clays, have great success with them. I am really expecting this to go swimmingly well, especially with all of the rave reviews all of you have given for Rainforest Chica's clays and how well they perform in soap, not just with color, but also during production of it. Plus, we've got a smaller batch here. I don't have too much heat to work with. yeah, I'm expecting things to go well all around. So let's go ahead and get going. I'll walk you through the colorants as we do it. So I just need to bring this to an emulsion. So this is pretty much everything that goes into my soap. Since all of our colorants are water soluble, the math is a lot easier when I want to split my batches. All right, next up, I need to split my batches off. I did all of my math earlier with my handy dandy math worksheet, and I think they're all gonna fit in these, in my, my plastic beakers here. And now we get to color them. And I love this recipe because we have so much time to work with it. I think the first thing I want to do is to bring this one to a little bit thicker trace, pour it into our mold and let that sit for a minute. The design I want to do, I want to have a solid white or base color on the bottom, and then I want to do a one pot wonder, which I'll show you that pour, of the color part on top of that. So let's get this yellow mixed up. I'm gonna go ahead and go for just the pop it into the mold like we did, or pop it into the batter. Again, I'm not dispersing this in a huge amount of batter, where doing something like this would be a little more sketchy, and you'd want to hydrate your clay. Since this is such a small amount, about what I would be hydrating in anyway, I'm just going to add it, just like we did last time when we were testing all the clays. Okay, so this is my indigo decoction, and I mean, it just looks like black sludge right now, but it is going to be very, very blue. So let's see how blue we can make it. For the green, I'm going to do yellow and blue. I put a little bit less blue. We're at 4 grams in there, and I need the yellow back, and we will do about 1 gram of yellow in there. Okay, so this is how you do a one pot wonder. The trick is I want to pour down the side. I'm going to layer this in, and then we're going to slowly pour that in here. So when you're pouring, you pour whatever color you want to go into the mold first. That's the color you put into your pitcher last. So all I'm going to do, and this is thicker. I probably want it a little bit thinner. I'm going to pour down the side, and if I remember correctly, it does matter which side you pour down as well. Yeah, this indigo is thickening up pretty quickly here. Just get to pouring. But by pouring them, layering like this, see how much thinner that is? Oh well, such is the life of soap. We shall see what it all comes out like. I wonder if all that blue is going to pour out nicely for me. But by pouring them all down the side, it matters if you pour over here, your swirls will be different coming out your funnel or the tip of your pot. See, this one has far less indigo in it, which is why it isn't setting up as quickly as the full indigo down at the bottom. I was making a soap with my Soapy friend Christina years ago. She came over and we're making soap, and we actually used the fact that indigo sets up a little faster as a way to, we use that as a manipulation. Okay, here we go. See, I'm just pouring down the sides and letting those colors layer themselves up. And I don't think I'm getting any blue in here yet because that indigo set up so fast. It's so thick down at the bottom of here. But that's okay. We'll end up with lots of blue on the top. I still think it'll be fine. I mean, a soap design doesn't have to come out perfect every time, right? Okay, so this is where I started talking about how I'm going to need my risers. I want to keep pouring. Because if I kept pouring there, I would have had soap pouring out. Okay, I think this is going to be the last of our nice fluid pours, and here comes the glops of indigo. I'm going to let it kind of sit up on the side here, and I'm going to leverage that for a little swirl that I want to do. I'm going to just take the rest of this yellow over here. I am going to kind of swirl this top a bit. Other tip with indigo, as you saw, it does accelerate trace. And that's because the chemical reaction, it gets hotter is what it boils down to. So when I do indigo in my larger slab molds, and what I'm going to do with this one as well, is I don't want to insulate this. I feel like it's bowing out a little bit there. So I'm going to put another one of these. Sometimes I'll put these on the top. This is just the, it's a coat hanger that I have bent, but you have to be careful with them because it's a coat hanger. It's not stainless steel. There, I just wanted to have that. Well, no, I don't like that either. I'm just trying to prevent some of the bowing happening on the mold. Oh, that worked better. So, you know, you got to keep them up out of the soap because, you know, the sodium hydroxide will react and rust that away. You don't want that in your soap. But what was I saying? Indigo, it does accelerate trace. You do not want to insulate indigo sometimes. You just kind of, you know, you got to play with it. Definitely when I use it as a decoction with that extra water, it always accelerates and it'll bubble out. So volcano in the mold. It kind of, you know, so it's self-insulating. It does gel all the time. I'm not popping it in a freezer. I'm just giving it a little bit of help to prevent overheating. That's why I put the ice pack down here. So that will keep this at a nice temperature that it won't overheat. If this was a big slab, I probably would have put a couple around it, maybe even put a fan on it, because whenever I do indigo in my larger slab molds, you get that volcano crack down the middle every single time if you do not insulate it. Typically in cavity molds and even, you know, smaller batches like this, I really don't have an issue with it, especially if I'm using it infused. But with the decoction, anything bigger than an individual silicone mold, going to overheat and give you a volcano and that crack down the top. And I do want to avoid that. So these are our friendiversary soaps. Look at them. I'm so excited about them. The base here, we're going to talk about it more in a minute, does have some orange essential oil in it. That's where a little bit of that tinge is coming from. But let me pull out, this is the clay. So this is Rainforest Chica's clay. And look, the yellow, it's like spot on. So that's our yellow right in there. And then the blue, if you remember, that was Aunt George's indigo. And then our green, oh, I love the green. Oh man, I just am in love with the colors on there. Going to have so much more fun exploring blending botanicals and clays. Oh, I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. And talk about a fun design too. The sides are super fun. Look at all those groovy edges we got. This side, not as fun, but still pretty cool. Overall, super, super, super pleased with this. Another soap that I want to pull out, and it's to talk about this base color here. See this? It looks kind of yellowish down here. A little bit of that is from the orange, but let me show you these. This is how much lighter it's gonna get. This is gelled. This is not gelled. This is my go-to vegan palm-free recipe. And you see how much lighter it's going to get? It'll probably be more like, well, it might go right in between the two because I did not let this, well, I want to say I didn't let it gel, but I think it did gel. I just didn't insulate it because I did not want that indigo overheating. So it will lighten up quite a bit over the next week or so. It won't be as white as this one because this one for sure did not gel. This one did gel. Anyway, I did want you to see kind of like that color difference that happens as you let your soaps cure up. They smell so good too. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. There is a video for where we made, these are the color tests, single oil color tests, dealing with different olive oils and things like that. There is a video up on my YouTube, so go check that out from when we made those. If you want to know more about the single oil color tests, those are lots and lots of fun. And of course, you can see all of these samples of Rainforest Chica clay soaps that we made. Gosh, that was what, 3 weeks ago now, maybe even a full month. Those are up on YouTube as well. I do try and keep a record of all of the past Wet Soap Wednesdays up on YouTube for us all. Bye, Soapy friends. Happy soaping.